Welcome back to the one and only source on the internet where we live stream and talk about internet drama. Nobody else is on the internet talking about drama in a live stream except for me. That's right, you heard it. So, having said that, we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to be talking about the Jake Doolittle apology. I have some positive things that I need to add to that. Not need, but I'd like to add to it. And another thing we're going to talk about would be the Kuncan Dastner versus Unpoetic Justice whole thing. So Unpoetic Justice put together a video covering what happened with the Kuncan Dastner video right here that he had to apologize for. So we can go over his apology and then tie it back to Unpoetic Justice's video. And then another thing we're going to talk about would be this orange peel drama. I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but this girl posted this video that went crazy viral on social media where she played out a situation where her boyfriend wouldn't peel an orange for her, which it's all bits. It's not real, but it's a very real situation, and I think it's important to talk about. It's a fun little topic. And next, Jidion. If you haven't seen this already, Jidion. I think this is just a coming back video. I don't know if it's an apology video. It could be. So we're going to do a little live reaction to that. And before we get into any of that, one thing I want to add is this clip that went viral on Twitter the other day. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but a Twitch streamer caught a man trying to act normally, seemingly recording her at the beach. Disgusting, but also sort of not surprising, kind of probably classic. I'm obviously not a woman, so I don't know what this is like, but I'm sure women deal with this on a fairly regular basis, unfortunately. You can see the guy is pointing the camera directly at her. She's making direct eye contact with this guy, and the second she makes eye contact, watch his camera move. Caught, dude. Caught. Yeah, it's pretty sad, the world that we live in, that women have to be on the constant lookout on the beach and can't just simply, enjoy themselves like a normal human being can. Pretty sad that creepy dudes have ruined it. Having said that, let's dive into the Jake Doolittle apology. One quick thing to note on it, I think the overall response as far as video responses, such as Brittany Simon put out this video. We're not going to watch her video, but it's her reaction to it. She had a pretty positive response to it herself. Adam McIntyre also put out a video talking about it, and he had a very positive response to it. Having said that, one thing that made this confusing was, and I'm going to refresh this right now because I think this
Hi, everyone. It's the most recent video that
you can see there's 2.9K up votes and 2K down votes. So I was a little thrown off by it, and I'm just going to get into this and talk about it, and then we'll go over some of the comments because I think a lot of people on the internet still aren't very happy about this. So we'll see what they have to say about it. But I want to add some stuff into this conversation too. So let's watch it and talk.
I made. In that video, I spoke about a topic that's extremely sensitive to me, which, to be honest, was my first mistake. I let my emotions dictate my actions, and that led to a tone that was confrontational and aggressive. My intention...
One thing I have to note here, I think it's controversial on the internet to have different length apologies. When you have a 3-minute apology, you're going to get completely roasted. When you have too long of an apology, you're going to get roasted. I don't quite know what people want on the internet as far as an apology, not as a terminology basis, more along the lines of how long it should be, in my personal opinion. When I look at Jake's apology here, see that 3 minutes, my first guess was, good job, dude. Short and sweet. Got out. Go. Awesome. And not only short and sweet, but when I say sweet, I mean got right to the point. So we'll continue.
was to stand up for a specific group of people, but instead I came across as an asshole. I didn't consider how my words would affect others, and for that I'm very sorry. I've also come to realize that no amount of explanation can undo the impact of.
I think, and this could just be me being empathetic and maybe just around the basis that, I've interacted with him before, but as someone who's pretty empathetic and understanding of other people and where they're coming from and their true intentions, I do think this is a very honest apology. He admitted to, being an asshole in the video, which takes a lot out. I think it's very hard to look at the internet and tell your thousands of followers that, I'm an asshole. It's very hard to do that. So I commend him for, admitting to how he ended up feeling post, emotions on this.
Of that video. And so for the discomfort or hurt that it caused, I also apologize. I recognize that my reaction was partly fueled by my own experiences. With my nonprofit, I frequently read applications of people who are in the most terrible situations possible, and hearing someone talk about health in that way really bothered me. But that didn't mean that I needed to post a dedicated video that just turned out to be me ranting about my own frustrations.
True. And to add to this, I do think there is a way to make a video around your own health frustrations, but not at the cost of others. As he already stated, he let his emotions get in the way of this, which resulted in him taking out his frustrations on Ethan, which came across inappropriate, as he's already said. But I think he can make a separate video that involves, his own health circumstances and can have I'm not going to say overwhelmingly, but a positive response to, or maybe not even a response, but a conversation around different health anxieties, or maybe around lupus or around Lyme, whatever discussion he wants to have around it. I think there's a way to make a good, productive video on it. So, maybe one day, maybe not. Who knows? It's obviously not for me to say.
I also realized that I shouldn't have posted the video if I can't handle people looking into my health history and claiming that chronic Lyme doesn't exist. I also sincerely want to apologize to Ethan for not considering his health anxiety. I took it as a completely different thing, and that only fueled my anger in the process. I understand that looking at an irregular blood test is extremely concerning, and I shouldn't have commented on that. Having been born into health issues, I was numb to how startling it can be to be an adult and look at a blood test that doesn't seem right. Also, as a viewer, I can absolutely acknowledge that I reached out to them to try to work for them or ask for collaborations with crew members. But in no way did them not hiring me fuel this video.
This is an important part that I feel I have a good thing to add to. And I can understand why he didn't include this, because it goes off the topic a little bit. However, as someone who works, and I'm speaking out of personal experience here, but as someone who works freelance, you kind of work call to call. Not all the time are people calling you for work. You oftentimes have to go on a limb and DM people, and that's how you get a lot of work. I will, in this particular instance, I'll speak for Jake, because this is something he's told me about. He's also made a video about this, I believe, early on his channel, if not on this channel of his, on another channel. So this is definitely public news, but he worked with Billie Eilish before. Do you think Billie Eilish contacted him and was like, hey, come work for me? Sure. I'm sure that can happen to people. But he got that by reaching out. And I actually thought it was very interesting to see, in the context of, roasting him on the H3 podcast for maybe, reaching out to Olivia, or reaching out to Ethan, reaching out to Zach, I don't think it was Zach. It was the other crew members anyway that he reached out to. And when it was all put together in one space, it looked if you're not thinking about it in the way I'm describing it, it looked cringe. People looked at that and people were like, oh my God, that's so weird. Why would he reach out to all these people? But it's similar to the way this works when you're trying to get work with someone who's a pretty notable person or got a pretty good online following, is you have to stand out compared to other people. Like when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, there are probably thousands of people that are DMing Ethan directly, DMing H3 and saying, hey, I'd love to work for you. I'd love to work for you. But what makes them stand out, you're going to ask? Well, that's a good question. And one way to get around that is to maybe DM other people that are involved with the exact thing that you're trying to work for. So in Jake's case, I understand why he would reach out to other people in the crew, because then maybe he even kind of finessed it a little bit with like the AB situation, which, it's neither here or there for me to talk about, but that you saw kind of shake itself out where he then ended up running into AB and they already had a discussion on Instagram and they had like a familiarity. They did a video together, things like that. So that in a way is kind of how you work things in this neck of the woods. And like I said, he got himself the opportunity to work with Billie Eilish by doing this. So in that realm of things, I get it. I completely get where he's coming from and why he reached out. So that part, and I get it's a kind of a longer discussion, so I know I went on a tangent, but thought it was worth talking about. I'll continue.
I've been trying to work for them through like a job or internship since I was 16 years old. I did not make a video 6 years later as a way to get back at them. My girlfriend and I are very, very grateful for the opportunity that I was given to be a full-time content creator. Lastly, there's a lot of speculation about my nonprofit Never Stop, so I thought that I would just address those as well. The clothing brand started in 2017, like selling things to family and friends. And then in 2022, when I got a platform, I decided to give 10% of all profits to people in need. And then there was such an overwhelming amount of need for donations that I decided in 2023 to turn it into an official nonprofit so that people's donations would be tax deductible. Since Never Stop is a new and small organization, I pay all the startup fees so that the donations can go to people who need them. And I do hope that someday Never Stop can sustain itself, but it's just not there yet. To be totally honest, picking one person a month to give a...
I'll quickly add that nonprofits, although Jake's platform is rather large, he's got a few 100,000 subscribers, it might be a little hard to grasp the concept of his nonprofit not being on a grand scale of things. And I can understand why, when you look at it, you think, oh man, what's wrong with this? It's not, what's he doing? But at the same time, he still is growing his nonprofit. It's a thing that takes a while. I'm personally friends with people that have them, and I'm not gonna name drop, but there's people that I know who they're on their, I think, 6th year, 7th year, something like that, and they're finally getting to a point where it's sustainable and actually helping out people in need. So these kinds of things take a while. He did mention he's had this for a while. Like I see someone commenting being like, well, dude, he has had this for a while. But in the real grand scheme of things, in the real, I don't even know what I'm trying to say now, but in the, like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. If I think of it, I'll say it.
Few $100s to is sometimes awful. I want to be able to do more, and right now I can't. In closing, I want to reiterate my apology to everyone affected by this video. The tone was inappropriate and scummy, and that does not reflect the values that I wish to embody as a content creator. I've taken this as a learning experience, and I will commit to never repeating this mistake. From now on, I'm going to refocus my efforts on the content.
I think this is where, when I originally talked about this, that I mentioned his values, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, look at me, good guy, but I openly brought up, like, I've talked to him, I've had a good conversation with him before. Like I said, we've done a podcast. He's a very cool, funny, fun to be around kind of person. I'm sure we'd get along great if we hung out in person. I don't think Jake walked into his channel and Jesus, I'm umming again. I don't think Jake walked into his channel thinking he was just going to go harm someone. Like he said in the beginning of this, it's easy. We all make mistakes oftentimes when you let your emotions get in the way of what you're actually trying to get across. It can lead to some actions that you may not intend on doing. I think we all make mistakes. This is probably a good learning moment for him to realize what his emotions can make him do on this platform. And now he's had his lesson. He's learned from it. I think we all make mistakes. The only difference with his mistake is it's on the internet in front of all these people compared to people in the comments who don't even have a profile picture, who aren't on the internet, but they make mistakes in real life, not in front of this many people. And that is by no means me looking at this and going, yeah, dude, excuse him completely. I'm sure he's dealing with his own situations with this, right? He's dealing with people sending him probably threats. He's dealing with his own anxieties with it. There's a lot he's probably dealing with right now as I'm talking about this that is going to take him a while, whether it's he needs to recover from it, whether he needs to take time with it, whatever it might be. It's a lot more than I think people realize. And when you add a bad comment, it probably just makes things worse. So I'd imagine he's probably staying out of the comments for the time being, but we'll continue.
That brought you to my channel in the first place. Your support means the world to me, and I appreciate every single one of you. And I thank you for your understanding during this time where...
One quick thing. So you can see this Drew video right here. I saw people in his comments getting confused because they said your recent video, and they thought he was referring to the Drew Kids Bop video. And people were just not having it. They were like, what'd you do in that? But one of the things I wanted to talk about, because of the down dutes on this, the ratio was like almost down the middle, which was pretty surprising. You can see the comments right here. Someone say, you failed to mention so much because I think you know how menacing it all looks. Like, where do I even begin? Objectively messaging everyone. I already talked about that. If you missed my conversation on that, I would suggest going back in the stream. That is something that I don't think people get. Doing a 4-month deep dive on someone's health problems that haven't been diagnosed. Claiming his mom might be faking her illness because he's faking his. There are... Okay. Here's what I think is the case. Jake, like I said, if he had a long apology video, about a 15-minute apology video or so, then he would have gone detail by detail, one by one by one. But I'm a firm believer that short and sweet can be really good with apologies, especially when you admit to being in the wrong. You admit to what Jake made the video. He made the video. He knows what he said. He understands he caused the damage. He's obviously going to learn from it. He apologized to Ethan in it. He went above and beyond than most other YouTubers do. I think we've lived the run of apologies on YouTube now, and we've seen people that don't apologize, people that cannot apologize, whether they don't have it in them, people just can't do it. We've seen it all. And so I think his short and sweet was the way to go. So, and then if I go down here in the comments too, I think a lot of people just got like personally offended. Like people said, I lived with an undiagnosed disease for years, I couldn't imagine having someone battling. Luckily, most people were super supportive. I think it could be cancer, and luckily it wasn't. So I think there's people that have their own personal issues when it comes to this thing, which is why it was like very trivial or controversial. Being disabled as someone who's diagnosed, this feels like an apology so you can come back to the internet and now apology because you feel bad. I didn't get that out of it. I think it's really hard to dictate. I don't want to be the guy blaming people and being like, look, I know him and you don't, so you don't get it. I don't want to be that guy. I want to offer the position that you need to not always, especially when you watch a content creator for a while and you see them making consistent videos and consistent content, or maybe you watch them on a live stream and you start to get who they are as a person, and then they make one big mistake, and then you start to assume that this person's, oh, they're in bad faith. It's actually a bad person. I never knew this person was so bad. Because I'm sure we've all, me personally, even in real life, have had people that have made mistakes right in front of my face. And for a while, I'll just let them think about it, and then they'll eventually come back around. People can change. People can get better. And I always want to put that out there for people, that should allow people to change and grow from their mistakes. Jake mentioned this at the end of his apology. This is a learning moment, and I think it's a opportunity for him to grow as a creator, right? I think if you don't make mistakes and you just think you're always perfect on the internet and everyone's always saying you're so perfect, how are you supposed to grow? You won't even know how to grow. So next topic here, let's move on. I don't want to rant too long on that. Coming up is the Unpoetic Justice versus Kuncan Dastner. Now, I say versus like they're at war with each other. No. Unpoetic Justice is a great creator. I actually, not to be this guy, but I found Unpoetic Justice before this video. And, I'm on my, by the way, y'all can be like, he's not subscribed. I'm on like a, whatchamacallit channel, an old channel right now. This is not my main channel. I'm subscribed to my main channel. I'm subscribed on the channel you're watching on to Unpoetic Justice. But Unpoetic Justice is a great creator. I think she's done an excellent job of covering all this, but more importantly, Kuncan had to apologize for a moment that she called out, because Kuncan, in the middle of his video somewhere, said something kind of inappropriate. Not kind of, it was inappropriate without him actually realizing it. And I know he feels bad, and I know I do feel bad for him and what's going on with his channel and everything like that. But let's hear his apology and see what he has to say.
Hour and 30. It was supposed to be my final video of the year. It's supposed to be this huge project that I poured so much of myself into. For like a week, it was doing great. And then people pointed out that I had said something pretty generalized in the beginning, and it came across as kind of ignorant and racist. I said there is no nuance in blackface. And I should have been more specific that I was talking about what Dean was doing. But I was critiqued for that, and honestly, I'm glad, because I don't want to ever make that mistake again.
The thing that was kind of, I don't want to, I almost feel bad saying this, and I don't want to nitpick him, because I do, Kuncan's someone I've been watching for a while, and I do think at his core and at his very true self, he's a very, I would imagine meeting him in person, he's a very sweet person, does not mean any harm. But one of the things that made this kind of ironic was, and he'll talk about it, or I think Unpoetic Justice talks about it, but he at one point was like, I scratched, in the middle of his Dean video, he was like, I racked my memory to see if I did anything bad, and I searched to see if I made any mistakes, and there was nothing I did wrong. And then he ended up making this mistake, ironically. So I found that just a little humorous. I think it's okay to say that. We'll get back to this.
I think the issue is that a lot of people were waiting for a reason to, like, attack me. The comments under that video, the hour and 31, that was addressing that one line, those comments, wow, I hated them. The creator that called me out was very constructive, very, like, direct, and I learned a lot. None of the comments taught me anything.
Unpoetic Justice is killing it so much. Called out Kuncan, called out Dean, and also was the one who called out Nick, that Nick also highlighted her video. Great creator. I would go subscribe. Maybe I'll just do that now. I like to mention creators on my stream that I think are doing the right thing. I might have even already said to subscribe to her in another one, but if I didn't, go subscribe to Unpoetic Justice. Absolutely goated creator.
I got super self-conscious about my content and if I was coming across the right way, because I hadn't meant to piss this many people off, and yet it was daily notifications that people were mad. Because it took me like 6 weeks to make that super long video, I didn't put out a statement about Gaza when the entire genocide started happening, and so a lot of people were asking me to make a video about it and to say something.
This is something that I think needs to be discussed. Another reason why I'm talking about this video. The best way that I can put this is there's people who are knowledgeable on what's happening in Gaza and Israel. And not by knowledgeable, I don't just mean like this is what's happening and this is that. I mean stuff that's beyond surface level. And I think there's people much like, whether or not you agree or disagree with this guy, but people like Hassan who are pretty routinely talking about it on their stream, or maybe another political creator you watch, maybe the news. And whether or not you are tuned into it, I think where people are coming from here is that they want their favorite creator who has a platform to discuss it, because if they don't, then they're staying silent and therefore they do not support it or whatever. And it sends the wrong message if they don't talk about it, which I think is a little toxic. That might be my hot take, but the reason I'm saying this is precisely because I saw comments. After I realized this notion on the internet of bugging your favorite creator to talk about Israel and Gaza, I started going through comments in Curtis's videos, Danny's videos, Drew's videos. Call me crazy, but it just sounded an alarm in my head that maybe people are saying this too. And sure enough, I found comments being like, "Oh, excuse me, I know you're trolling on this thing, but can you just take a moment to make a video on Israel and Gaza for me?" And I was like, whoa. And there were people, to my understanding, I saw on Curtis's Instagram story about a little over a month or two ago now, where people were sending him messages going like, excuse me, Curtis, can you take a moment to talk about Israel and Gaza with me? I just found that to be odd. Now, I don't want to invalidate people. To validate you, I think it's okay for you to, in your head, think that your favorite creator should talk about it. That's a normal thing. What I don't think is normal is to bug your favorite creator who's not like a politics Andy on this whole thing. Because if I go down the line on Kuncan's channel, there might be like 1 or 2 politics related videos, but people don't subscribe to him because he's a politics guy on YouTube or this well-rounded politics guy. And that's not me dismissing him saying, well, he doesn't know anything about it. He might. I don't know him. He might have a good background on it. He might know a thing or two. In fact, I think, as a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, he may have even released, let's see, Kuncan, he may have even released a video on it. Let's see. Okay, so it does. It looks like he did end up releasing a video of it, but it makes me wonder if he felt the pressure to talk about it. And it looks like also another thing, not a lot of his audience saw it. That's another thing that's important to note. When you go off the path of your normal commentary, he does like deep dives. When you go off the path of your normal commentary and you talk about something else, your views are down. So 8,000 people, when you look at the grand scheme of 160,000 people, it's not a big turnover. So even if, let's say Curtis dropped, let's just live on the idea that Curtis drops his like video he's working on right now to talk about Israel and Gaza. His audience is there for like shits and gigs, including myself. That's why I go to Curtis's channel. Why do I go to Drew's channel? To see what weird things he bought. Why do I watch Danny? Well, partially because he's someone that I've known, but also because he makes funny videos on goofy things. I'm not cracking my eyes going, maybe Danny decided to talk about Israel and Gaza today. No, that's not what crosses my mind. And I think that's normal. And I don't think people should be out here bugging their favorite creators. My mouse just died and I made a sudden mouse switch midstream. We are in fuego today. So that's something that is important to talk about. We'll get back to his apology.
And I thought I could get a little meta with it and talk about the expectation of people wanting people to say something. So I tried my best to crunch it all up into a little mini video to end the year with. And it never happened. Every time I sat down in front of the camera, I just felt, I don't know, like, I know thousands of people watch me. But suddenly, when I was filming, it felt like they were all in the room with me. Having my statement being read as ignorant, or my intentions being assumed bad, I was so worried about how to say anything I wanted to say that I couldn't say anything. I filled SD cards with the amount of times I tried to make a video. I'd show them now, but actually, no, I won't. Hi, baby. On top of everything, the genocide was making me sick. Reading those articles every day, trying to figure out what to say. Like, I don't, like, that got me. But people wanted a statement, and so I tried really hard to make a statement. And then the end of the year passed, and I got very self-conscious about having gone quiet for so long. I put out a community post about the big video and the mistakes I made, and I really tried to speak as honestly and...
Let's go see let's take a quick moment to see what he had to say on that. I didn't actually look at that statement. Okay, here we go, we're back. What did he say? Okay, wow, this is a big statement. Hey everyone, there's been a lot of comments and criticisms about elements in my latest upload, and I wanted to address my oversights and include this response to the overall conversation. I need to turn my light down because, wow, it's getting darker here. My eyes are getting flared out. Okay, there we go. That's a lot better. The strongest, to address my oversights and include the response to this overall conversation. The strongest feedback came from both my proclamation of there's no nuance in blackface and the stance I took on forgiveness and rehabilitation, as well as the chapter where I discuss my personal relation to being responsible to an audience and how I describe self-investigating my past wrongful behavior. Okay, so we addressed that. The creator of Unpoetic Justice made a phenomenal video summarizing my behavior and the larger problem it feeds into, and I strongly recommend you go and watch it for a complete breakdown of highlighting my blind spots. She did say her video got demonetized as his... Oh, man, I didn't realize both their videos got demonetized. So please show her support by subscribing to her, as I already told you guys to do. I know I learned a lot from how she broke my actions down. And listening to her perspective, and I want her audience to grow so future videos can reach out even further. That's very nice. This video, combined with comments I've read from all comment, really helped snap me back from my bubble. It's really not my place to make blanket statements about race without considering more than my own perspective. The energy I brought towards the topic was limited to my personal reflections, but came across as overcompensating and trying to absolve myself of my own white guilt. Ouch. Additionally, I should have done much better at clarifying my perspective when discussing my personal experience or analyzing my past behavior. A lot of people noted it. It came across as holier than thou, and I implied I was a pure fault benefiting of racism in any way, which is a limited and baseless claim to make. I intended to be emphasizing the importance of platforms held by privileged individuals, but without the greater context of creators protecting the actions of their friends. It came across to me claiming I'm pure of fault and in previous benefiting from racism, and it hurts me to know I didn't make that clear enough. Yeah, he kind of walked a tough road there. Despite what the chapter seemed to convey, I'm not exempt from my accountability, and I'm thankful for each person that went out of the way to help convey how they felt about the video. I'm here to learn and grow from this channel, and this is a very prominent lesson for me to slow down and reflect on. I'll be doing my best to adjust how I approach these topics in the future and consider myself thankful to have a personal general community passionate enough to highlight these issues to me. I'm going to make sure I spend more time going over this, but I do expect a few more posts for you before the year ends. Oh, this was before 2023. I'll make mistakes again. It's reassuring to know you depend on for helping me realize my missteps. Please continue to go take care of yourselves. Go support Unpoetic Justice. So, let's see, video restriction. Yeah, and even Noah, when he talked about Palestine, got restricted. So, this is definitely very interesting. You know, I didn't expect. I didn't walk into his video thinking. I kind of watched his video in pieces. And it was definitely an interesting video for sure. We'll get back to the apology though.
Non-creator mind as I could, and a lot of people responded saying it was one of the best apologies that they've read, which, you know, I could be proud of, but I'm not. The fact that I'm in this situation is not one that I can find any pride in. And I think that post was liked 3,000 times, which is not a lot of my audience. Ironically, I lost 3,000 subscribers. 3,000 people leaving, or
This is slight general. I'm going to close my blinds if y'all don't mind. Give me like 5 seconds. This is like getting weird. I feel like everyone's watching me. Alright, blinds closed. We're back. The commentary subsect of YouTube, I think, is kind of falling off a little bit. I'll be honest. We're seeing... Oh, man. Now I can't see in. Stop looking in my windows. I think the commentary subsect of YouTube seems to be, aside from like Drew, Curtis, and Danny. By the way, real quick, I don't remember who commented this, but I do review my own criticisms as it pertains to my live streams. One of my last live streams, someone commented, "You're saying and like a lot." And I've realized this happens the later I stream. Because I'm tired, my brain is shut down. I don't say and like a lot when I'm talking to the average person out in public. And when I got hit with that comment, I was thankful because it made me realize that. So I am very open to criticisms. You guys, there's things you like and things you don't like about my stream, things you think I can improve on, things that will make it an overall better experience for you as a viewer. I highly suggest that you leave a comment and let me know. This is my 3rd year, maybe 2.5 year, actually being in front of a camera. You can see one of my first videos in front of the camera where I was reacting to the first video ever on YouTube way early in this channel. You can see I was a little bit uncomfortable in front of the camera because that was maybe the 3rd time I've ever been in front of a camera. So, although I've been a content creator who makes videos for people for 7 or 8 years now and have been filming videos for other people for more than 10 years. It's only my third year of myself being in front of a camera, let alone learning how live streaming works. I'm new to YouTube live streaming. I'm not new to making YouTube videos, but I'm new to YouTube live streaming, so I do appreciate that. But we'll get back into this apology.
1,000 individual people who decided I was not worth entertainment anymore. Like,
Wait.
I felt those. I was aware of each one. Especially because they were leaving comments about it. I finally kept trying, and I got something done. I posted it. I just wanted it to be over. And internally, I knew posting anything about the Israeli-Gaza nightmare.
I think he even watched, and I do this too, because I saw someone comment, do you ever watch your own live streams back to see how you are? And the answer to that is yes. I actually do. If I stream at 9 o'clock at night, the next morning when I wake up early in the morning, I'll get up and I'll watch it early to make sure there's things that everything I said is, in the realm of things I want to talk about and see if there's anything I can improve upon. And the reason I bring that up is because it looks like he watched his own video through, so I felt bad that he felt the pressure to talk about this because I don't think he ever thought he'd be in that situation.
Was going to either win me or lose me some people. And I knew that people were going to leave. And a part of me wanted to just get that over with. Almost come back from this vacation, post a controversial video. Well, I don't think it's controversial, but post a video with a very strong opinion, have the people who disagree with that opinion leave, and then basically start the year in the red, and so I can only go up from there. I did not really get the reception I was hoping to get in terms of quantity. I'll tell you this though, the people who did see it and who didn't agree with me, they left.
I'm a little curious. There's a part of me that wants to watch that video. Slipperhouse, if you're in here, can I get a 1 or 2 if you want to watch that video he just brought up? There's a part of me that wants to watch it, like a 1 being yes, 2 no. There's a part of me that wants to watch it just to see. But there's another part of me that's like, don't watch it, because then if I have contradicting points to it, maybe people are going to get upset. So I'm a little conflicted. I'm going to keep going through this, though, but yeah.
I lost another 1,000 subscribers. That video was only seen like 5,000 times the first day. So a fifth of, oh my god. Now that, okay, the real numbers are starting to get to me. I've been so freaked
Bro was
out
looking at the
about
numbers.
putting myself out there again. And so I tell myself, oh, I'm going to post and put myself out there, and it doesn't matter what happens. And then I posted it. People reacted negatively, and it felt like I was getting shot in the back of the head. But the post is out. It's the first of the year. It's not doing great, but I don't care. It's out. It was going to be controversial anyway. I'm almost happy that more people did not see that.
And it feels weird because while his audience cornered him into talking about it, it put him in the negatives for talking about it. And I think that is something important to evaluate. If you're getting forced into doing something and in your head you know it's not right because it's not in your own doing to do it, I don't think as a creator you should feel pressured to then succumb to it. It's a different conversation when your audience says, hey, you should work on this and improve upon this in your channel. Maybe your audience has seen something that they're flagging you to watch and react to. That is completely different than your audience begging you to create a whole video around a subject matter that you are not fully educated on. Those are two very different conversations. I need to make that very clear.
This was the first time anyone had, given me critique or criticism whose opinion I really respected. and wanted to hear from. Because I'll get comments like, dude, your voice sucks, or I wish your videos were faster paced, also your nose is big. And those don't mean anything to me. Like,
if someone says his nose is big, that is insane. Dude, I think I have a bigger nose. I have a bigger nose than he does. Who cares about someone's nose? If someone comments that, you're just insecure. Who cares, dude? Let people be people. No body shaming.
I don't get anything from that. But I said there is no nuance in blackface, while knowing that I was a white guy making that statement. And then a black woman found problems with it. And it's like, well...
Ouch. Yeah, it's a rough situation, brother.
I put so much of myself...
I'll say this, and this is probably just my white guy opinion of it. When I, as a white straight male, viewed it, and I'm speaking from his probably own white male brain as well, when I heard that, because I did hear it in his video, I immediately had thought he meant there's no second guessing it. Like, it is what it is, and there's no, oh, maybe it's this, maybe that, no other opinions on it than what it actually is and how bad it is. That was how I interpreted it, and you have to be very careful when you talk about these things, no matter what, because there's going to be a lot of nuance, and I think he should have said there is nuance instead of saying there's no nuance, which got him in trouble.
Into my videos that when I fuck up, the criticism is towards me as much as it is the video. And as much as I know that I simply didn't clarify my position enough, and it's not that big of a mistake, I can kind of tell that that's always going to stick with me. And I want to make it productive and use that for good, but it will be with me. I can't go through what I did in the past 3 months and come out unchanged. I think this is just new enough to finally shake me out of my creative kind of permafrost. I'm gonna try my best to make it funny, entertaining, educational,
The cat
and
shot.
please God, most importantly,
Aw,
quick to
look at the
produce,
cat.
because I can't spend 6 weeks making a video and then go 3 months not doing it anymore. If your income is based off of videos and you don't make videos for a while,
Yep, it's
rent
Joe.
comes at you fast.
Which is why later on in this, we're going to get over to this. This is a very similar topic, so we're going to get into that. But why am I in... Okay, now I'm losing track of it. We're going to continue hearing him out.
I think when you are critiqued and when it hurts really badly, that means you care really badly. It
True.
sucks that the criticism launched a wave of angry comments at me and got more views than my video. I mean, that's just insult to injury. I had never experienced that before, and honestly, I don't wish that on anyone. But the important thing is I learned, I went through an experience, and now I have the chance to learn again.
I gotta say, I do think commentary YouTube, not everyone, but the ones we've talked about thus far on my live stream, have been people to critique apology videos, and due to critiquing apology videos, they've taken notes of their own and have made the right moves. And Kuncan, although he may have not critiqued an apology, I think he's giving an appropriate reaction to this, I should say.
I will try to be more active on here because every time I make a real video, I'll probably vent in one of these. At the end of the day, criticism at the end of the day, criticism is feedback.
Yep.
And it's just up to you how much stake you want to put in that piece of fabric. I'm gonna do my best to sit down in front of a camera, read aloud something I wrote, and make it entertaining. That's scary, that stresses me out to hell, and I'm crazy out of practice, but you know what? It's important that I get back into it. And that last video is not gonna pay the bills. I'm just kidding, money isn't important. It kind of is, but it's not the point. It's part of the point. It's not the point.
I think a lot of creators right now, views are down across the board on YouTube, at least from what I've seen. But to get into the white liberal paradox video here with the one and only Unpoetic Justice, let's see what the original video was about.
Because of this, I always lean more into establishing a societal link to this type of pop prejudice, rather than relying upon my own emotions or speculating on the feelings of other Black people. Because that is my preference, I always find videos like Duncan's to be very odd.
But blackface itself is a hard stop. There's no conversation to be had there. There is not one redeeming quality in that act, and you have to know that if we're going forward. If a single one of you tries to defend or excuse blackface in the comments, be it in any context, used in any time, I don't care if you are trying to defend the person you love. Just know that you do not represent what this channel's values are, and you do not belong in this channel's community. I want nothing to do with you, and I won't think twice about it, because you're not worth.
Dude, I don't know why he had this horrendous red light. God, I think it'll end soon. This red light was so hard to look at.
Keeping around.
It's such an overly emotional response. It reminds me a bit of Noah Sampson's critique video of Patience Xena on her take about the recent Little Mermaid movie. It was odd to see someone who was not a part of the group targeted to combat so heavily against someone that is. I did make a video with significantly worse editing than my current content. It's not that I believe Patience is beyond critique simply because she is Black. I've literally made a video about her myself, but not from that angle. I would never presume it's my place or anyone else's to determine what good representation feels like for an individual. In relation to Duncan's assertions surrounding Dean, he fully condemns Dean's past actions and did not view his apology as genuine. He also stated the following.
Also, I'm going to get into this in a little bit, but I believe Patient Xena made an accidental mistake herself that she then had to apologize for, which was like an ironic problem. We'll get into that too.
The secrets of the past that will destroy someone's career will come out, because they just will. They always do. And if you know you've done this horrible thing that would potentially ruin your career in the public eye, you always have the option not to be an influencer, or, someone who's trying to gain the trust of an audience, someone whose face is the product. If you have a past of edgy comedy that you know is bad, maybe take a job in backstage, or maybe you ghostwrite for someone, or maybe you are part of a team that does influencing, but you're just not at the forefront. You should still be doing reparation.
I will say something, this is probably a little nitpicky, but when he talked about this thing about go get a job, go do this instead of this, oftentimes that people who are in the creator realm start off as a creator, so they're almost at ground zero without YouTube, and even just for normal people too. It's not easy just to make a little switch like that. It's not easy, not as easy. It's easier said than done, I should say.
But you just don't have to say why. If you did something bad, you should atone for it. And you can do that without all of this public humiliation.
This stood out to me as abnormal because on an individual scale, it doesn't make sense. On a societal scale, it seems to make sense until you think a bit further than your hurt feelings. Not only does the idea that if you did something prejudiced in the past, then you should never make your face your business or brand. If you lead with that kind of practice, it not only prevents people from analyzing and pointing to specific instances of how different forms of racism still very much exist, but it also can hinder that person from being criticized, which can subsequently lead them to inputting their unchecked biases into whatever media they're assisting in the creation of. This may be a highly controversial take. I hope that it's not, but I don't generally believe a bigoted person is beyond reform or redemption, depending on their actions. The caveat here is, who should be tasked with helping that reform take place? Should it be the people from the group that was the target of their bigotry? Or should it be everyone else? The former relies on the foolhardy thought that a people group has enough of a similar stance individualistically. The latter has the same fallacy, but it also comes with the assumption that everyone else has a genuine care. You could say that it's the individual person's responsibility to reform themselves, but you'd be neglecting that the reason why many people in the early and mid 2010s have had so many scandals with bigotry of all kinds because they uncritically accepted and acted upon the culture around them. Most present day creators accept and act upon the culture that is around them. Duncan is a great example of this. His video is what many online leftists in 2016 to 2018 were vying for. An apologetic white person who was willing to take what they've learned about inequalities and apply it to online or real-world examples. He has all the talking points down, right? Listen to black people, unambiguously condemn the person who did the racist thing, and say that there's no nuance in blackface, which I actually do disagree with, but contextually, I understand his point.
She wrote, meaning I recognize the importance of acknowledging the differences between blackface of 1900s versus modern day blackface.
But I and many other marginalized people have always cringed at this sort of thing because the amount was willing to take what they've learned about inequalities and apply it to online or real world examples.
Whoa, why did this video just go backwards?
Because the amount of guilt people like Duncan seem to carry is uncomfortable to witness.
It means the entire time you've been known, you're guilty. And every version of you that's ever appeared on camera or heard...
I edited... That's fun. This has nothing to do with anything, but wait, there was a frame here I edited.
...knows about this thing that they did, and is hoping that nobody finds out.
Wait.
And is just coasting on that.
Like Duncan seemed to carry is uncomfortable to witness.
It means the entire time you've been known,
let's find it,
you're guilty.
I edited this video right here that he cut into the video. It has nothing to do with anything, but I just realized that. I remembered like the specific edit.
And every version of you that's ever appeared on camera or heard on audio is someone who deep down knows about this thing that they did and is hoping that nobody finds out and is just coasting on that hope. But you're guilty.
And I don't mean guilt by way of I'm speculating that he did something bad in his past and he's trying to atone for it. After all, he directly told us that this is not the case.
But I can't lie. When my subscriber count was going up and the fantasy of doing this as a career was floating in my head and potentially that number rising and rising, I tried to think about if there was anything in my past that would bring down a career like that. I racked my entire memory.
These two clips, I don't know why I just backed out of it. These two clips paired with one another seem very bizarre back to back, you know what I mean? It just cuts them out to... It's one of those things where this whole memo you're about to hear, you can have this thought in your head, but you don't need to vocalize it. That's the most nuanced way that I can put this.
Trying to think of if I had offended anyone, or if I had accidentally said something, or said a word, or if there was any evidence someone could bring up, you know, like stuff I know doesn't exist, but on the off chance that I forgot, I just tried to remember so hard.
Okay. And real quick too, because I'm sure there might be people that watch him, or who knows, maybe he watches this kind of thing. I don't want to be someone giving him too hard of a time for this, really. I think at this point he's obviously watched his video. He's learned from his mistakes. So even if you are like a fan of him or whatever, I don't, please, this is something I regularly talk about in my live streams. Do not go to the creators' channels that we're talking about unless you have an uplifting, positive thing to say. I do not want to be someone who contributes to negativity on someone else's channel, or like, saw you on another channel, came here to say, excuse me, but you kind of suck. I don't want to contribute to that, okay? So please, be a nice person. Be nice, be kind, treat others nicely.
In the end, I couldn't think of anything. I avoided slurs all my life. I avoided parties on accident all my life. I was a homebody. I had a very, very clean slate. Whatever fantasy of a future career I had was safe. I was kept away from any opportunities of offending or doing any harm. I was nowhere near places where I could be negatively influenced into making those kinds of decisions. I had my small little friend circles, and if anyone said anything racist or derogatory, I'd remove them from my life, because my parents raised me by those values, and so that was the system I trusted.
Even though he'd be relying only on his own personal perception of what is offensive and what is not, and if the internet has taught us anything, it's that we don't always understand why or how something could offend. And it also indicates under his ideology.
My feet are getting very cold. I'm gonna put my shoes on. Hang on a second. Hang on. And then you don't have to look at my dirty shoes, okay? I'm also wearing an old pair of shoes right now. You can ignore that. Alright. We're back. Let's get back into the video.
The only way to ethically have a platform based on yourself is to be born into the right circumstances, i.e. having good principled family and friends and a lack of opportunity to make a mistake. But that's neither here nor there. I mean it as in an irrational form of guilt that shows remorse for the position that you were born into. So being born white. We don't do white guilt on this channel. Be more critical and intentional than falling in on yourself because you are white. If nothing else, I appreciate that Noah in his video on patience unapologetically stood his ground on his principles without presence of white guilt. I still believe he was off base, but I've grown tired of the racial divide in conversations. Not just the divide that makes it very hard for white people to transverse in the waters of race, but the divide that makes it tangibly harder for anyone to fully disagree with someone else from another racial group. For what I see, this is mostly a chronically online, young lefty thing to do, and I can see people actively shifting away from it, and that's a great thing. That type of logic provides people an undeserved out when they feel unable to voice their opinions on a topic outside of themselves. We can no longer critically engage with one another when that type of logic becomes prevalent. So even though Duncan's video is adhering to the still existing but reducing online culture of creating content around racial issues with this very emotional tone, it is a culture that will not last. So in the future, when people discuss videos like Duncan's, and someone with more radical viewpoints stumbles upon it with the same all or nothing mentality Duncan is exhibiting here.
If you preach goodness, and then something dark is brought up from your past, you've suddenly...
Note from Justice, we would all do well to remember that goodness is not something that you are. It is something that you can become, even when you've made a mistake.
Lost all credibility in everything you've ever said.
Should future audiences condemn him? I know some of you are thinking, Well, Justice, Duncan didn't do anything wrong, so why would he be condemned? I may not currently believe that Duncan did something wrong here, and you may believe that too. Similar to how Dean, Jenna, and Shane's audiences did not believe they did anything wrong in the 2010s while they were making that content. But online culture changes rapidly, expeditiously, and frighteningly. I don't believe content in the present day should be made with future.
And this is interesting because when I originally talked about, and this is slightly off topic, but when I originally talked about Jake's video, I remember when I was live streaming, there were people that were commenting saying that Jake did nothing wrong and that everyone else was insane for thinking that he did something wrong. And then he ended up making his own apology video admitting to doing the very thing that everyone was saying was wrong after he had realized it. So I think we need to, as viewers, I'm not excusing myself from this. This is something that I want to work on myself as a viewer, is trying to develop a deeper understanding of the individual circumstance and have more than just my initial emotional response to something, right? And I know that sounds contradictory to being on a live stream instantly reacting, because it is very reactionary after all. What's this little thumbs up thing that came up? That's kind of cool. But that's something that I do want to practice here on this channel.
Analyses in mind, but if Duncan's all or nothing sentiment grows in pervasiveness online, that proclivity will become a normative. And personally, I don't want that, because it removes authenticity of thought, which will disallow us from deeply understanding the present day culture thoroughly. This was never a question of should offensive content be allowed to exist. It should always be the question of how do we reduce people's desires to create offensive content?
Yep.
Or how do we make them understand their implicit biases before the offensive content is even created?
True.
The first question
Two-based.
is an ideal. The latter two are root cause analysis and cause prevention. One of the biggest points made in Duncan's video was trying to determine when your friend's actions become representative of your own values. Dean's being a friend of Curtis is really the reason why the scandal became so popular. The girlies are wondering why Dean would keep a friend who has done this, amongst other things that people...
Okay, so now we're into the whole other discussion. But the thing you're probably wondering is, why did... Actually, switch cameras. The thing that you're wondering is, why did patient Xena get in trouble here? So, not in the segment we reviewed, but it looks like in patient Xena's video, she accidentally said, hey guys, in the video I reference G, apostrophe P, so I'm not going to say that word because I guess it's offensive. When discussing a trend centered around the appropriation of Romani culture in the United States, you guys have been absolutely wonderful. This correction, the term is considered a slur. My initial understanding is that it's considered a derogatory and used towards or against Romanianism, but you guys have emailed me our additional articles and co-ops surrounding the discussion of the term. My apologies for them and anyone who've been offended. Thank you guys for keeping me honest, correcting my ignorance. So you can see, we all make mistakes. This is kind of what a lot of this stream is about. Just, I want people to really firmly grasp that concept, especially on this channel. As I continue to make content, as I continue to make videos, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm not a perfect person by any means. None of us are. We all make mistakes. You can see that right here. Patience made a mistake, and Patience has now learned from this and is going to grow from it. And I believe at one point there was a discussion in this video, and I'm going to honestly, I don't even want to talk about it right now, but I'm just going to let you guys go over to this video with White Liberal Paradox, Curtis, Kuncan, and racial commentary. Let you guys go over to this. One thing that Patient Xena brought up in this video was how Dean, I believe it was, it might have been Kuncan she was talking about, but I think she was talking about Dean, is how Dean apologized to his fan base when he was apologizing originally, and that wasn't the appropriate way to tackle an apology towards the group that he was originally being racist towards in the moment of the blackface issue and in the moment of his apology on Twitter. And so that was another interesting topic, but I'm not, like I said, I don't want to get into that. I want you guys to watch Patience Xena. I want you guys to watch Unpoetic Justice's video so that you can see that for yourself. Now, time to move on to the next next subject, because we spent a lot of time on that, is the orange video. Yes, an orange caused some drama on TikTok. And this girl this is a skit, but it's a very real thing. And I think this video got like 1 gorillion. How many views did it get? I know it got like 1 gorillion views. 24 million. Yeah.
I really want an orange right now.
All right, try here, but I got you, buddy.
Yep.
Okay, wait. Give me a sec. I change up my camera settings real fast. Because man, is my things. Let's see here. Okay.
You'll get me it? No. But like I really want it, but like I hate peeling it.
You hate peeling it?
Yeah.
Alright,
it just gets really messy.
Okay.
And I have nails. It'll get like underneath them.
Tough luck, buddy. Go ahead and do her.
You're not gonna peel it for me?
Dude, okay. As if I don't do enough.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It's scary how real this actually is. This is something that does, in fact, happen, but the fact that people on TikTok believe this is insane. People were like, oh my God, dump him right now. And they're saying that because they're assuming this is a real situation. They're playing a bit. So, yeah, probably in the real life, if this was real, yes, probably do, take action, maybe have a discussion. If this person can't seem to understand this, then, and that's something that is aligning with what makes you happy when you're with someone, and they can't do something as simple as peel an orange for you when you've just got your nails done. I think there should be something to be said there at least. And in some people's cases, some commenters have said, cut it immediately. That's neither here nor there, but we'll continue this video.
I'm being for real. Okay?
You can't fucking peel this orange for me.
Dude, I ask you to do things all the
I
time.
do
and you
everything.
don't do it.
I just did your fucking laundry.
No.
And you can't peel this for me?
Dude, come on, man.
Seriously?
No. Figure your life out, dude. It's not all about what you're making.
Real quickly, hang on a second. I have to check. I got an important text that I have to check. Can you give me... Let's see how many seconds here. Okay, cool. We're good.
I can do for you. It's about what you can do for yourself, right?
No, but like a good boyfriend would peel this for me.
Alright,
Or like do something for me that I'm perfectly capable of. Obviously I can peel this, but like if
And
you
a
were
great boyfriend would tell you to do it yourself.
Also, for the fellers out there that don't know this, if you don't know this, I'm not going to blame you, but nails, hey, they cost just so much money to get done. I don't think, there's guys that get their, what's it called, your cuticles, whatever that's called, worked on, or get like their whatever done. I don't know what it's called, but we don't get our nails done the same way women do. It costs, I've heard of it costing anywhere from $60 to $120 on average. So it's not just like an easy thing. I guess if you do it yourself and you're like the expert at it, it's different, but still would suck if you had nice nails and you ruined your nails because a guy couldn't do something that takes 5 seconds? Peel your orange,
So, I'm not a good boyfriend. I'm a great one. And I'm trying to make you strong and independent.
I'm a great one. I'm trying to make you strong and independent. This is not a surprise by any means that, they're using this as a bit, because this is, I'm not going to say it, what is that called? What's the term called? It's, I almost said abusive, and that's not what I meant. It's, so hopefully someone in the comments, please, I hope someone in the comments says it. It's just being selfish. He's sitting right there. She does a lot for him. He does nothing. It's manipulative. That's the word I'm looking for. It's very manipulative. For if a guy were to say that, it's sad though. I think a lot of this is coming off the moral basis of a couple things. Insecurity in people's relationships with one another can result in things like this. People's inability to form a normal human relationship with people. There's also people that I feel very bad for that just haven't had the opportunity to really socialize themselves due to whether it's a health circumstance, whether it's their life circumstances, whether it's their maybe, I don't know, financial situation, whether it's whatever it might be. There's people that also just aren't very socialized that are trying to get out there. I think the bigger question that seems to be controversial in these cases is people will like shame women in this circumstance and go, well, duh, it's her fault for being with this guy. That's her fault. There's a little truth in it at the end of the day, but I don't think it's the immediate response should be to shame a woman in this scenario. Because I believe I did see those comments at first when this was posted, and people go to her profile, and I'll show you the videos. There's other videos of her and her boyfriend, but they're just doing skits, but people are like, drop him. But you do see this happen. I think people have their own insecurities within their own relationships throughout their life, and it puts them in a not so secure relationship with someone like this. So at the end of the day, they're in this relationship because of their own circumstances, and they're not walking into it going, I think I'm going to put myself in this toxic relationship. It's just life circumstances shake you out, and the only way to get out of these kind of circumstances, if you do find yourself in one, is to be in it, learn from it, and if you're in this case, maybe you can see this situation here, and you can later on say, hey, that's something I realize I don't like about myself, and you can take action accordingly.
And build you up as a female.
Well, that's the point.
That's
I can do it myself, but like the point is that you would do it for me.
Yeah,
as like an act of service.
But then you wake up and you realize, that you can actually just do it yourself. And like you're not even that special. That's the thing. It's like get that in your fucking.
It's the manipulation for me. It's the manipulation. You're not even that special. It's so sad. I almost have a hard time talking about this because of how sad. Because you can see a comment right here. Someone said, my jaw dropped when he said, you're not even that special. Girl, run. Because people thought this was real. You're not even that special. When she's like, does a lot for him. And she's asking for just something that takes under 10 seconds to do.
Skull, dude. Like, you're really not that special.
Okay, then I'll just peel this orange for myself then.
Alright, go ahead. Took you long enough.
Took you long enough. This video really got people talking. I mean, you can see in the comments here, the gaslighting. Hope this isn't real. I don't even know what I just have a pop can theory. You are kind of special and deserve to be. Another thing that I saw, dude. Hey, this also needs to end. What is it with TikTok and hey dudes? Fellas, why are you doing this? I've seen this behavior where a woman's in this situation online and then a creepy dude, like 54 years old, comes in the comments, sometimes even around my age. Sometimes I'm 28. Sometimes people will come in and say, "Oh, drop him. You can be with me instead." Huh? Huh? In what world would a woman see your comment and then go, "I think I'll drop this guy. I'm gonna come be with you, stranger"? Why? Why even? And in fact, I bet this goes further. I'm not a woman, so I can't speak, and this might not be true. But I would imagine, just imagining, that some women probably even get DM'd if they have their other socials in places, being like, oh, and then, I saw the video, the guy did this, you should just come be with me instead. I don't know why we have this level of autonomy on the internet. No matter what, it will never be okay to feel like you have that level of entitlement. I am very serious about that. I think that is the most disgusting behavior. I bet you if I scroll through here, I'll find one that, like, let's see here. Goodbye. Nobody held the door. Let's see. If you don't leave him right now, best response I've seen. There's going to be someone that says, you can just be with me instead. I can guarantee it. I can almost guarantee this. Let's see. I'll scroll through the comments. Yep. I'll give you a ride out of there. Okay. Well, I definitely saw it at one point or another, but I'm going to look at their other content real quickly. Let's see. They had another one, calling my boyfriend the wrong name to see his reaction.
What do you want to do today, Tyler?
Here we go.
Babe.
I don't know. What do you want to do today, Mia? Who the fuck is Tyler, bro?
Babe.
Oh, fuck.
It's just so...
I have to give them credit. They are good actors for content. That's become the new meta on the internet, is to not put genuine content out there, but rather to, like, be a character. I'm starting to say like again. You can tell I'm getting tired. When the likes and ums come out, I'm getting tired. They start to act like a character online. It's the same meta. It's honestly, in a lot of ways, I don't want to put this guy's thing on the screen really, but for the sake of example, I'll do it. It's kind of along the lines of this guy. Not the content specifically, but this neon guy acts like a character online. Not a fan of this guy by any means. And in a lot of ways, it's not much different than being a character like this for content.
Slipped. No, it actually just like slipped though off my tongue because I was thinking about different people like from...
for sure.
I was thinking about different people from high school though.
Oh yeah, he's from high school for sure. Just so you remember that, you remember them so well, right? Just stuck in your head.
Babe,
fucking 4 years later, still stuck in your head.
Tino, Tyler.
Oh
Tino,
yep,
Tyler.
they're easy, common mistake. Oh,
Babe,
for sure.
I didn't mean to.
It's alright, Sarah. Where are we going tonight, baby? What do you want to do?
In a lot of ways, if this was a real situation, you can almost immediately tell how secure or insecure someone is. If someone was secure, they wouldn't be wondering, who's Tyler? Who is this? You know what I mean? They wouldn't act like that. And I think this is how he's playing the role of how any other average dude would act to this. And if you go to the comments, Tino, not even close. I'm not happy, that's for sure. Her past, bro. Yeah, people that are in a secure relationship don't bug out about this. That's it. There's nothing else to that. Here's another one they put up that was controversial.
If you were to cheat on me in our house, how would you do it without like getting caught? How would you do it?
I don't know. I'd probably like use the guest room.
What do we think about couples who create content? Do we have any thoughts on that as far as different content you've seen and how the internet reacts to it? I personally have some friends that do it, and I think it's kind of cool, but I want to hear your thoughts.
What the hell?
I didn't even finish. I'd probably use the guest room when you're out with like your friends. That way, like if any of her hair, like, you know, was on like the bed or something, you wouldn't
Seriously.
see it in our room. And I'd probably just like clean up really well when she left, and then just probably like spray like light a candle. Or
Why is this story so curated?
What do you mean?
Like, why does it feel? Why do I feel like you've planned this already? You would cheat on me.
No.
But I said if you were to cheat on me in our house, how would you do it?
It would be.
And your automatic response is the guest bedroom?
Yeah,
You would put her in there?
It'd be Sarah.
What the hell, dude?
What are you trying to ask?
That's so...
I think they're using the, heaven forbid I say it, but like capitalizing off of manipulative people. They're just playing the role of manipulative relationships, I think, at this point, and how people manipulate one another. Because this is just, again, I hate to say it, but it's a very real thing that guys do. And people are commenting, red flag. People are commenting, please run. Leave him if he acts like that off camera. There's people that are still falling, still getting duped. Why are you still with him? This is a bit. This is a bit. If you've been around them, look, break up with him. Look, break up with him. These gotta be jokes. Finally, someone gets it. People are so, like, watch this one here.
I'm, like, negative in my bank account.
Fuck's that got to do with me? Fuck you mean, dog? Cool.
You're not gonna help me out?
Help you out, bro.
Babe, I'm negative.
Does it just like...
I think the main point of controversy around this one is a conversation that does not have a final answer. So you're going to get people that comment things across the board. How people share their finances is different person to person. It is not, you don't get married, you're not dating someone, and it's like one way about finances. I know couples that they split their finances down the middle, and that's how they go about their own spendings. I know people that each have their own spendings, and that's how they go about their finances. I know people that put it all into one spot, and that's their pool of money that they can spend. It nowadays, the way that everything's so expensive, it's become more and more important to figure out ways to make more money if you're in the position to do so that you can afford to simply live. That these notions that someone is out there begging their boyfriend for money and not doing anything for themselves it's a little crazy. It's a little crazy.
Just like read Wells Fargo, like Capital One, like Chase Bank on my forehead? Like what? I don't understand. That's not my problem.
Well, I thought you were gonna be sweet and be like, yeah, babe, I'll give you $500 bucks.
I don't know what fucking world you live in, what girl math.
You're not gonna take care of me?
Babe, I take care of... Okay, hold on.
$500? There's some people that do this, and they actually... I almost like, after this one, I think I have to move on, because I haven't been in this situation, but I know of people that they've been in this. He plays this role so well that it feels so real. Like we're watching an embarrassing situation roll out. There's dudes that have been in this predicament and women that have been in this predicament where they both are going over this. Can you give me money? Can you lend me this money for that? Blah, 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 blah. It's somewhat of a nowhere conversation because there's not one hard answer. This is the right answer. So there better not be any right answer Andes in the comments on this because there's no right answer to this. The one thing about it, though, is that it's bizarre to just suddenly beg your significant other for money out of nowhere. I mean, it's a different conversation to be had if you are in a circumstance where you're horribly sick or you're in a position where you can't make money and maybe one of you guys communicate this wild thing, insane thing called communication, and you guys say, hey, I'm in this predicament. Maybe if you can lend me $100 for this, when I can finally work again, I will then pay you back. Or you have some form of agreement under communicating, right? It's not that hard to communicate. If you don't communicate it and you just suddenly demand $500, then yeah, you're going to be looked at like you're insane. Of course you are.
Explain this shit to me. How you
You're a terrible boyfriend.
How do you use my card for everything, yet you're still negative in your shit?
Well, once your shit said declined, I started using mine, and then when my one
so
declined...
you rinsed me, and then you rinsed yourself, and you didn't even ask. You just rinsed us both?
Well, I was just expecting you to, like, go make more money. And now I'm negative, so I need more.
You say, I have to treat you better. You hear yourself?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
You're supposed to be a man and take care of me.
Okay, what we're really going to do, what we're actually going to do is we're going to schedule a thing.
I've seen this notion online, not too often, but every now and then it comes up online, that the man is the 100% driving force of someone's relationship, and I don't know where that came from. Although there are a lot of things that the man should take responsibility for sure, 100%. There's another notion online that men should do everything and that they should just succumb to every demand, no matter what the demand is, to whoever they're with, which is an incorrect notion. But I assume it's coming from younger people online. I've seen it on Twitter a few times. I've seen it in TikTok comments. So it's just a false one. There should be a balance, right? That's what you do. You find a balance with each other, and what you guys both find is healthy, what works for you, what works for the other person. And if you can't come to those agreements, then unfortunately that person might not be for you. So I think communication and figuring out what works for the both of you is super important, right?
Therapy session for you. Probably this next week. We're gonna get it.
Yeah, but I spent it on necessities.
Should have spent it on a fucking therapy session, man. You need, I'm talking clinical help. This is something out of this world.
So you're not gonna help me?
Babe, honestly...
You know I can find someone who will, right?
You need professional
You know
help.
that I can find someone who will, right?
The manipulation.
Go ahead, then.
Okay.
They ain't daddy. I don't give a fuck. You gonna be crying in the club with all that.
Why is he talking like that? You gon' be crying. Sorry, I know that's nitpicky, but can we not?
That bullshit.
Okay, well, my mans will be able to take care of me.
Well, currently your man's is me.
My mans?
Well, not anymore.
And I did take great care of you, but you rinsed me. So I'll be glad to let you go.
It's not my fault you can't afford it.
My money will stack
up.
It's
not my fault you can't afford it.
Alright, just say that then. That's all you want. It's just
Okay,
money.
bye.
Alright.
I was talking about this with a friend last night. Material goods at the end of the day are not the reason why you should like someone. You shouldn't just like someone because, oh, they've got a billion different outfits. Oh, they've got $1 billion. Those are the things that are little extras that are nice on the side. You should always like someone for who they are and their personality, what they bring to the table, how they're important in your life, what their values are, and how those values help shape who you are, what their values bring into your life in general. And if you just look at someone for material goods, such as the money they have, what they're wearing, what kind of car they're driving, what kind of house they live in, where they aspire to live at, random things like that have no say in who the actual person themselves is just someone who likes you for material goods at the end of the day. If someone sees, you don't have that much money, and then they just run because of that, and it's different if you have no money and you're just like, oh, I don't want to make, and you're just going to be like, yeah, I'm just going to not do anything. And then you have there's going to be an imbalance, right? There's going to be someone that makes more money, someone that makes nothing, and it's going to kind of hurt after a while, right? That much I get. But aside from that situation, when you just look at someone as from a monetary aspect, and just say, oh, no, and you don't see them, and they're someone that's telling you they can't, or if there's someone that's telling you they can grow and make more money and you've seen it in them, then yeah, that's their values. But when you're just looking at it from a money standpoint, that's gross. Sorry if I yuck someone's yum saying that, but just always remember that. Always remember that. Don't ever just like someone for their material goods, because that can get sticky. All right. Moving on, before I get probably triggered by some other videos of theirs, we're going to move on to Jidion's account. Now, this is interesting. This account became called Jid's Burner. So it's a burner account, which I found particularly interesting. And I don't know why he turned this into a burner account, but maybe we'll find out by watching this video. It has a pretty good updoot to downdote ratio. To my understanding, Jidion was a prank YouTuber, fairly older person. I don't mean old like old, but I mean probably somewhere in my age ballpark. Going out and making public pranks, things such as pranks in NBA games, pranks out in public that were actually starting to kind of hurt people and not for the better. So we'll see what he has to say in his coming out video. Well, he means coming back video.
Hey, oh, no, okay, I'm sorry. What's good with y'all, ladies and gentle hands? It's been a minute, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. There's no reason to talk about why I've been gone. You guys all.
Hey, babe. You want to go
I
to a
did
show?
not expect to get an ad.
Tonight?
We'll let this ad play through real quick. I didn't think I'd be getting an ad. Okay.
Real question is, why are you back, Jid, after all this time? I'm not gonna lie. Question is, why are you back, Jid, after all this time? I'm not gonna lie. Uncle Sam came around and your boy needs to start making that funny money.
He might be making a joke about this, but I think it's pretty serious too. When you leave the internet, all of a sudden you see your funds go down, and I don't know. I think brother might have. This is not me making any statement on him or anything like that. I'm talking about content creators in general. When you leave the internet, when you rely on the content creation to fund you, you start to see how that reflects in your bank account after a while, and you do need the money again. So we'll continue to hear him out, though.
You know what I'm talking about? I gotta start making that funny, buddy. The baby. Oh, it's giving balls up. Remember that one? Remember? No? Okay. Nah, but in all seriousness, man, like, I missed you guys, bro. I genuinely just missed you guys. I put out a tweet the other day saying, hey, I miss you guys, and I was fully expecting to get cussed out, doxed, the whole nine. I thought that was legit about to happen, but I went in the comment section and it was nothing but love, man. Like, you guys were showing nothing but love, and then you guys were even telling me to, like, pop back up and, say what's up to you guys, and I was just like, my little trolls are growing up. My little trolls are growing up. You almost made me cry, y'all. Y'all genuinely almost made me cry. But you guys know what I've been up to, man. I've been on my second channel, preaching about my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And I'm still gonna continue doing that because I just genuinely feel like that's my life's calling, and I feel like the Most High is using me as a vessel, so I'm gonna keep on doing that. But I can't lie to you guys, man. I mean, I love to entertain, y'all. I love to entertain, and I miss entertaining you guys. So I was like, you know what? Let's go back. Let's start anew. Let's do this the right way. So your boy's back. I'm gonna be making, reaction videos. We're gonna be doing Let's Plays, and, we're also gonna be doing some pranks, y'all. We're gonna be pranking it up. Got you with that last one. Nope. We are not going back to the prank era. No.
Honestly, kind of slay. Yeah, no more pranks. Good job. Good job, Jidion. I think the prank era is getting to be a little bit gross. I mean, we saw earlier, as I talked about it, the neon world of pranks, which is happening right now, and that is not looking good. Pranks are just becoming a thing of little kids doing it, and it has no sustainability to it. As you get older and you're pranking people when you're in your 30s, people are like, pranking also has a lot of negative side effects to it. It involves things like hurting other people, and when you're making content at the behest of hurting other people, nah, not good. It's not good. There's nothing more to that.
No. But not in all seriousness, man. You guys are gonna get reactions, let's plays, and we're just gonna be hanging out, talking, man. You know, just like the old times, but just a lot more tamed. But man, I can't wait, y'all. I genuinely cannot wait. And I've been up to a lot of stuff too, man. You feel me? Your boy got a new house. That's one thing. I got a new house. Got to do a house tour soon.
Awesome.
And I got a 300-pound cupcake man trying to kill me,
Could have found you, and executed your Yeah, I'll be spending the rest of my life in jail, but guess what? You got what the was coming to you. I could have easily killed you,
But, genuinely, I miss you guys. I love you guys. So, vids coming soon. Y'all just put on those post noties, do whatever you guys got to do. I'm going to be coming at you guys every once in a while with a new vid. And yeah, y'all.
Damn. Dude. Respect. It's the end of pranks for Jidion. I commend him. I think this will happen to every prank creator out there. Everyone that is pissing people off in public will hit this point eventually. And this is about the time that it happened for him. So, honestly, cool. I wonder what the comments say. Let's go down. It seems like a good like to dislike ratio. Tax problems, just doing reactions, pranks. We still love you, Jid. This is the exact idea because just because religion doesn't mean you can't do things like playing video games. Not trying to hate, but 90 of us knew this was coming. Yep. People always know that pranks are going to fall off. Would be sick if you had gym transformation series. It kind of isn't really helpful. At the end of the day, people just like creators for who they are and want to just see people again. And not people that are pissing others off. I shouldn't play this video. I mentioned Neon already, so that's why I have to bring this up. But you can see, when you head over to something like Neon's channel, there's moments that he's pissing people off in public. And it's not good. So, anyway, that said, that will be the end of this stream. If you enjoy internet drama and you've been a watcher of my streams, there's been roughly anywhere from 600 to 1,500 people watching my streams. If you are one of those people, I appreciate you. Please hit that subscribe button if you enjoy this. I try to come on at least once or twice a week. May or may not be on tomorrow night. We shall see. And yeah, it's January 20th, so it'll be January 21st evening if I come on tomorrow. I need to get more of a consistent schedule going, so if you guys have any days that work better for you, let me know. This is not my normal time to stream. Normally I stream about 9 o'clock Central. So let me know. Leave a comment. Let me know. And hit that subscribe button if you enjoy it. And we'll be back soon. Love you guys. Peace.